Pakistan's Champions Trophy has come to an end. It is, right from the beginning until now, a farcical competition when you look at it, as far as hosting is concerned, as far as facilities were concerned, as far as Pakistan's own performance goes. First host nation ever to not defend their Champions Trophy without winning a single game in an edition. Australia also, they join in a certain elite list of not so great records because they are now the second team after Australia to not win a single game in a Champions Trophy. Australia didn't do that in 2013 when they won in 2009. So, Pakistan's problems are aplenty. What is the future for Pakistan cricket? No one knows at this stage because white ball, their fortunes have taken a big hit in 2024 and 2025. First round eliminations in both the T20 World Cup and in the Champions Trophy. WTC, they finished last in 2025. What is their future? Now, former Pakistan coach Jason Gillespie, who was there with the team for a very short period of time, has gone on record and explained the problems that is plaguing Pakistan cricket. And in an interview to the Times of India, Jason Gillespie had something scathing remarks to say about the Pakistan Cricket Board. Because he believes, look at the number of selectors, look at the number of coaches, look at the number of heads that the PCB has changed in the last 4-5 years. The combined runs into double digits. When there is no stability at the top, how on earth can the stability be filtered down to the lower level? And this is the main problem that Jason Gillespie has highlighted. Because when he spoke with Times of India, he mentioned that the main root cause was the PCB. He mentioned too much short-term thinking from the PCB. There is a lot of short-term thinking. Oh, we have to do only for the Champions Trophy. Let's focus on the other things later. We have to focus on the T20 World Cup. Let's focus on the other things later. This short-term thinking is hurting Pakistan. And to follow up on that, he mentioned fear of failure among players because of constant changes. We all know how the Pakistan Cricket Board functions. When one person comes, he's indebted to the government of Pakistan because the PCB head is appointed by the President of Pakistan. Then he will bring his close coterie, and those close coteries will favor a certain player. Those lobbying, those blocks ensure Pakistan cricket is very, very unsafe when it comes to players. PCB needs to leave running of cricket to people that know cricket. That is the scathing criticism that is there. Currently, the PCB is run by people who don't know cricket. They are shunting coaches, they are shunting players out like it's a totally revolving door policy. There is no stability in Pakistan cricket. And that is the main reason why this nation will have a dark future if the PCB doesn't improve on its functioning. Now, there was a comment that Sunil Gavaskar made on Sports Today, that India's B team can hurt Pakistan, can even defeat Pakistan very easily. Jason Gillespie kind of did not agree with that because he mentioned if selectors pick the right team and they leave the managing of the team to coaches, then Pakistan can beat India. There are talented players in Pakistan. Now, how on earth will that happen? We don't know. It won't be an overnight process because Pakistan cricket had its ups in the early 90s and in the 2000s against India. But now it isn't. And pretty soon, when you look at it in the next decade or so, maybe India can overhaul Pakistan in the head-to-head count in ODIs and tests. Who knows, if you play test matches, that is. So, India versus Pakistan, when you look at it, it won't be an overnight process that Pakistan can start beating India easily. 10 years it's taken 3 matches for them to win. What will happen in the next decade? That we do not know. So, maybe this is just a suggestion. It is not a concrete thing in stone. If Pakistan leaves, the PCB leaves the functioning to the players and the coaches and they pick the right team, they can then beat India. But Pakistan's talent is so far behind when it comes to India at this point in time. Jason Gillespie has mentioned one very particular thing on Babar Azam. Now, the entire debate, who is better, Virat Kohli or Babar Azam? It is a no contest. Because honestly, Virat Kohli is miles ahead when you look at Babar Azam. There is no competition. And everybody is giving a lot of unsavory things about Babar Azam at this point. That he performs only against the minnows. That Virat Kohli is better. In a crude way, they are saying Virat Kohli is better than Babar Azam. But then Jason Gillespie is mentioned. Expectations on him are huge. He just needs to be backed and supported. That is on Babar Azam's form that he's mentioned. But when can Pakistan genuinely start to beat India? When they get an outlet for many competitive leagues all over the world. And as far as the rivalry is concerned, now because India versus Pakistan in ODIs is no longer a rivalry, it's been lopsided. Whether this can be called a rivalry, Jason Gillespie mentioned, the rivalry will never fade. Pakistan have good talent, but the next point that he mentions is a problem. They need a platform to show what they are capable of. What is that platform? PSL? PSL, when you have to look at the standard and the quality, it is miles behind all the other leagues. The Big Bash League, yes, it's not yet the feeder system that it is when you look at the IPL. When you have to look at great T20 leagues with its problems, the IPL is the best amongst all the T20 leagues. Now, Pakistan can't play in the IPL. Because of the bilateral tensions that they have, Pakistan's players can only experience an increase in their talent and skills if they play in leagues in India. But is that happening? They can't. So they have to be stuck within their own PSL framework and in some extent to certain leagues in Australia as well as the CPL. But will that improve the talent? It won't. Now, about India. Now, India are the favorites in the Champions Trophy. That is the one thing that we all have assumed because they are the only team that are playing in one city alone, and that is Dubai. Now, Jason Gillespie on India's advantage, he's also joined the chorus when he stated they are familiar with the conditions. They can pick the squad accordingly. India will be hard to beat in the final. They will fear Australia though. You're reaching that point now wherein you could potentially have an India versus Australia semi-final. You could even have a final if things work out in that sense. But India hold the advantage because they know the conditions. Because they are playing in only one venue. That was the agreed arrangement. So, yet again, why is there more criticism that India have an advantage? Because that is the only way you could have held an ICC Champions Trophy. This was the arrangement. How else could you have managed it? So, in that way, Pakistan are ensuring that yes, they have a very bumpy future ahead of them. Can they recover from all of this? Will 2025 show some promise to Pakistan? It doesn't look like at this point in time. So one hopes that the PCB wakes up and realizes that the team is in big trouble. Otherwise, it will be too late. Thank you so much, folks, for joining us for this video. Subscribe to Sports Today for all the latest news and analysis.